Good morning. I'm at my mum's in the south of France, and this is going to be a day in the life with great views, useful vocabulary, and also lots of examples of second and third conditionals. I'm starting the day with a nice breakfast. So I've just finished another therapy session where I'm the client, of course, which I have once a week, every week, and this one has been a little bit different. We didn't go into the stuff which makes me feel particularly vulnerable, so I didn't cry or anything, but yeah, the therapy sessions can be different, and I'm really lucky, I'm happy, I'm lucky, yes, that I started therapy about 2 years ago before I moved to Germany, because if I hadn't started therapy back then, it would have been a lot harder. It would have been a lot harder for me to move to Germany, to immigrate to Germany. This experience would have been a lot more difficult to deal with. And if I hadn't worked through some of my traumas, some of the things that bothered me, I wouldn't have been able to deal with the situations that occurred here after I moved as well as I actually did. And if I hadn't had the support of my therapist all along, it would have been a lot harder, I would have felt even more lost and confused and lonely than I actually did after we moved to Germany, or in the process of moving, and in the process of settling down, finding our feet. I'm happy that I started therapy 2 years ago. I am happy that I made this decision. I don't know about you, let me know in the comments if that's what you do as well, but for me, coffee is kind of like a reset ritual after I've been, working or studying, and then I need to switch off and move on to something different when I need to start relaxing, for example, or just do something different. So I've got my cup of coffee, and before I made it, I had to finish, take care of some administrative stuff, like I booked some train tickets, and I booked a German course as a DAAD scholarship holder. I'm entitled to a German course with an affiliated platform called Duo, DUO. I've never learned with it, so I've no idea how good the teaching is, but we'll see, but I can use it for free. So I booked a course there starting on the 1st of November. If it were not so expensive, if it weren't so ridiculously expensive, I would book a Goethe Institute course, because Goethe Institute, I had to take a sip, otherwise it just looked ridiculous, me sitting there with a cup of coffee, not drinking it, but I mean, I have to talk to you, so I can't be drinking and talking at the same time. I can't do that. So if it weren't so expensive, I would take a Goethe Institute course, because as far as I know, courses at Goethe Institute are some of the best, or maybe the best German courses that you can take, but Yeah, it's so expensive. I would take a course with Goethe Institute now if my husband's bank account, hadn't got blocked about a month ago, a little bit more than a month ago. And those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know that yes, his bank account got blocked about a month ago, and we've been trying to solve it. So another thing I needed to do today was to transfer some money to his new bank account, because he has finally opened a new bank account. And last month, basically, I received his salary on my bank account, because this was the only way we could receive, we could get the salary, because otherwise, if he hadn't given the details of my bank account to his employer, we would have not received a second salary in a row. Yeah, because the salary of 1 month ago, it's still on that blocked account, so we still cannot access it. And you know, such things, yeah, this last month was hard because of that, because we had to deal with this bank account problem. And you know, that's why immigration is hard, because you know, when things happen like your bank account gets blocked, or a delivery gets lost, or I don't know, something else like that. So if it happened to me in my home country in Belarus, I would know where to go. If something like that happened to me there, I would know who to talk to, I would know where to go, I would know what to do, I would know what my rights are. But in a new country, in another country, it's a lot more difficult, because you're learning to navigate this new situation, to navigate how things are done. You're learning, we're having to learn how things are done in Germany. And this is something I've been saying a lot recently, that this increases the cognitive load. Right, a friend of mine likes to say that immigration is a second job, and this is exactly what it feels like. It is a second job. It is hard. It increases the amount of things, that you have to think about. It is hard, definitely. And there are moments when I'm not doing very well. When I'm not coping, but it too shall pass, right? Those moments, they also end, and problems get solved, sometimes sooner, sometimes later, but they do get solved. That requires a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of strength, but in the end, it is worth it. I don't know what I would be doing now if I hadn't moved to Germany. And I don't mean it as an insult to those who still live in Belarus, all right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about me personally, and me personally, I don't know what I would be doing. And if I hadn't moved to Germany, I'm not sure that I would be happy if I hadn't emigrated. It's a difficult question how happy I actually am now. But still, I think if I hadn't moved to Germany, I would be more miserable. Not that I am miserable, I'm not, I'm happy at sometimes and miserable at others. I think that's the truth. I know this is a trite thing to say, it is very banal, everybody says that, but it doesn't make it less true that sport helps with your well-being. And if I didn't do any sport, if I didn't do fitness, I know I would be less strong, less agile and less flexible physically, but also less strong and less flexible mentally. Never tried this before. They call it jus de cacao, so cocoa juice, I guess. That's what it looks like. If I didn't know what that was, I would say it's sweet and a bit sour, and there's a little bit of cocoa, taste of cocoa in it, but maybe I'm just deluding myself. It's refreshing. Cheers. I have asked myself several times if I could, would I live here? And well, in this town specifically, I think I wouldn't, even if I had the opportunity, even if I had the chance. Because look at those buildings, they are really old. I'm not sure how old they are, but I guess like 15th, 16th century, I think. I'll check. You'll see it somewhere on the screen, I think. And yeah, just imagine this part of France is really humid. There's a lot of rain, but it's just, even when it doesn't rain, it's like just the air is full of water. It's really humid. And just imagine how damp it is inside those buildings. I've heard that there's a lot of mold, and I don't think they get a lot of light inside there. So in this particular place, no, I wouldn't. Like, I really like being a tourist here. In France though, if I had the chance, would I live in France? I don't know, maybe, but I don't speak French, you know, so, but the French culture has a lot of features that I don't particularly like. Like I've said before, how food-centered their culture is, and how you kind of can't move the meal times. For example, in many restaurants, you can't have dinner until around 8:30, I think, like 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock. They just don't serve dinner, and this is something I find just a little bit, it complicates, not weird, okay, yeah, because I understand that's just local culture, but it would complicate my life if I lived here. On the other hand, there are other things that I really like, the way they dress, the way they look, French people I mean. the way they talk, small talk. I really like it here, like everyone's so friendly, at least in this region. So would I like to live here? Maybe, if I knew French. If I could speak French, then maybe I would, although this place is also very expensive, so I would only be able to live here if I were quite wealthy. Amongst all the funeral monuments that have appeared in the Basque country, the disc-shaped stele is the most emblematic. This form of burial stone is older than Christianity and was very important at a time when pagan beliefs were still very much present in the Basque country. I'm pondering what I saw at the Basque Museum today, and it makes me sad. You know, I've told you before that I come from Belarus, and I don't know how much you know about Belarus, but there isn't much cultural and historical heritage left in the country, and I can't keep thinking that if numerous wars hadn't ravaged the country throughout the last 2 centuries at least, if the country had been wealthier, if it were located in a different place, you know, somewhere where crops grow faster and easier, somewhere where you didn't have to survive all the time, and if a lot of heritage hadn't been destroyed by a lot of cultural and architectural also heritage hadn't been destroyed by the Soviet Union and the Russian Empire, if they hadn't tried to eradicate everything Belarusian, it would be a different country today. And I kind of feel envious that some places didn't have that fate. Do you know what I mean? But I'm also happy for those places, for places like the Basque country, because I forgot to say this, that these people, they have this double identity. They are French, but they are also Basque. And well, of course there are a lot of French people here as well who have, you know, moved here from other places in France, but there are also a lot of Basque people, or just people who like the Basque culture, and it's great. It's actually great. I love it. I love a world where numerous cultures coexist, and where there's so much fascinating stuff to see, to experience, to feel. I guess I would love the world to be as diverse as possible. it's almost 8 p.m. and we are in a small town called, what is it called? Espelette, I think. Yes. They also, you can see those peppers there? Those are peppers. They are getting dried right on the walls of a building, and those are called peppers of Espelette. And they, yeah, it's like red pepper, a little bit spicy. So we are here to have dinner at a restaurant because it is France and they start serving dinner at 8 p.m. If I had the choice, I would of course prefer to have dinner earlier because, yeah, like 6 p.m, 7 p.m, that's the time to have dinner for me. But I don't have the choice. Yeah, back in Germany, I would have dinner early, and it's just interesting how they don't actually start serving dinner until 8:15, I think. So a 8:15. While in Germany, you can just walk into a restaurant at any time and you will be served. So it's interesting. It's an interesting cultural difference.
Lundi. T'as mis ton doigt où il fallait.
Oui. Oui, on fait souvent ça. On a des... ouais. Merci beaucoup.